All right, let's start with your name, year, and major.
My name is Bryce Schiebel. I'm a junior, and I'm doing a double major in civil and environmental engineering, and I have a minor in sustainability studies.
How long have you attended the University of Florida?
This will be my third year.
Do you own a car, scooter, and/or motorcycle?
I have a motorcycle. I used to have a scooter back in my sophomore year.
Do you have a parking decal for it?
I do, though they were all out at the parking office, so it's been about 2 months, but they've yet to mail me a new decal, but apparently I won't get a ticket, according to them.
Do you live on or off campus?
I live off campus.
Where is that in relation to the university?
It would be north of campus, on 8th Avenue, so like basically directly north of the stadium behind Midtown.
Okay, about how far is that from the university?
5 minute drive, depending on what part of the campus you're going to.
Where have you lived in the past, or have you always lived there?
Last year I lived east of campus, kind of past the law school, at the corner of 34th and University. And then the year before that, I lived over on Sorority Row towards the back. Um, I'm sorry, that would be east of campus. The other would be west. Sorry about that. Yeah, on Sorority Row, it's Windsor Hall.
All right, how far would you say those were from campus?
Uh, Sophomore year, I would have been probably still about 5 minutes, and then freshman year, maybe a little bit less.
Where are majority of your classes located?
Most of my classes are near the stadium, kind of in the Florida Gym, Weimer, and Weil area, those three buildings. And then every once in a while, maybe one per semester, I'll have one in the environmental engineering building or the chemical engineering building.
How do you usually get to campus for class?
I'll take my motorcycle and I'll usually use I'll take my motorcycle and I'll park at the scooter and motorcycle parking areas.
Uh, how long does it take you on your motorcycle?
Takes me about 5 minutes. The parking can be decently close to most of those buildings.
How often do you take a car to campus?
I don't personally have a car, but I'll ride with roommates or friends to go to the library, something like that, in the afternoon or evening. Um, so I'd say like 2 or 3 times per week.
Does it usually take more or less time than your usual form of transportation?
It usually takes more time just because looking for parking and then a longer walk from where you can park a car rather than like if I was taking my motorcycle.
Where do you usually park if you drive to campus?
Um, Most popular spot would probably be the rolling parking garage. Other than that, sometimes I park O'Connell Center area, or there's a couple spots behind Weil if you're lucky. And then there's also the commuter lot.
Is it easy to find parking in those locations?
Um, it depends, but I'd say a lot of the times it's difficult, especially like the smaller lots. They fill up pretty quick. Um, and the parking garages, you'll usually end up having to go to like the top floor or the floor just below that to find a spot you can fit your car into because someone hasn't parked pretty bad and more than one spot open.
Is there usually parking near your destinations?
Um, Not really. Uh, Especially if I'm going to the library, which is when I usually am riding in a car. Um, there's not really any areas to park over by Library West, so if I'm going there, I'll usually end up at the Rawlings parking garage, and then it'll take the time to drive by Library West to get to the parking garage, to drive up and find a parking spot, and then to walk back down the parking garage and walk over to the library. And it adds like a pretty big chunk. It kind of almost makes the library not worth it.
How long does it take you to find parking?
If I had to give you a time amount, maybe like 5-10 minutes, depending on where I'm going.
Have you ever been late to class due to parking?
Yeah, a couple times. Every once in a while, I'll be going to class, especially in like if I have a class in Turlington, which doesn't usually happen, but if I do, I'll have to find a spot like over on Inner, and when I go to park there, it's like scooter on top of scooter, and so I may end up going down and having to, since it's one way, being forced to 13th and then coming back around, and at that time I'm usually late for class.
Have you noticed any seasonal fluctuations with parking?
Yeah, so I've been here for 2 summers, and during the summer, parking is amazing, which makes sense because there's less people, but yeah, that's nice. And then also, depending on like if there's a basketball game, I can't park at the O'Connell Center because that's full. If there's a football game, the roads are shut down. And then like yeah, I don't know. Football games tend to take up a lot of parking, that's for sure. But yeah, definitely.
Is the traffic bad on campus?
Yeah, traffic it fluctuates as well, but there's definitely like an oversized flow of people coming in and out of campus, and it kind of causes congestion and that, and like the heavy foot traffic and all the buses coming in and out. It makes for like a lot of stop and go traffic and a lot of frustration on the motorcycle shifting up and down and stopping and going in the sun and yeah, things of that nature.
What times of day would you notice the traffic is the worst?
Uh, there's a little fluctuation in the morning with everybody coming in, but it's a little more spread out than in the afternoon. Around 5 o'clock, campus is pretty much at like a crawl. People getting out of class, and with everybody trying to get in their cars and on their scooters and everything and leave. So I'd say that's probably the worst time. Sometimes it'll take me like 10-15 minutes just to get off of campus.
Have you ever received a parking ticket on campus?
I personally have not, but my roommate Sam got a parking ticket on a scooter because he forgot to renew his parking decal. I'm not exactly sure how much it was for, but I think it was like around 50, and he appealed it, but he's still waiting on the response. It takes them a long time, I guess, to get back to.
Have you had any experience with parking on any other college campuses?
I've had a little bit. So, like USF, the parking isn't as bad because it's pretty spread out, but also it's in Tampa, so it's a pretty heavily populated city. So, it kind of evens out in that sense. And then UCF, I've had a little bit of experience as well. It seems like they have a lot more parking garages available.
Do you see similar issues with city parking around Gainesville?
Some there's definitely like a lot less like major parking lots and stuff like that are just open to the public, but I think like the number of people looking to park in like certain areas is definitely less, and so it's less difficult, especially the farther away you get from campus. If anything, UF parking kind of influences and inhibits the Gainesville system from working.
How about the parking in your hometown?
Parking in my hometown is not bad at all. It's a pretty small town, so the parking lots that businesses and stuff like that have around are usually enough to meet the need.
Overall, do you think parking on campus is a problem?
Yeah, I'd say parking on campus is a problem just for handling the large volume that's coming in and out. It doesn't seem like there's enough spots for everybody, and it kind of forces people to use different forms of transportation and can extend the amount of time it takes you to get to your classes and get to campus.
Would improved parking on campus encourage you to drive to campus more?
Yeah, probably.
All right, that's all I have for you. Thank you for your time.